are there. So I thought last evening to share a story with you, a small story. The story has its origin in Iran, in erstwhile Persia. There was a king of Iran a very long time back. His name was Vishtapsa. He was returning from a victorious campaign. And when he entered into his country, he passed through an area where the great Zarathustra, the great master Zarathustra lived. So he thought of paying him a visit. He went to see, the king went to see Zarathustra. Zarathustra, you know, the prophet whom all Parsis believe in. So he went to Zarathustra and told him, "Sir, I have been a king victorious, but I still don't find peace. So teach me, tell me something which makes one glad. Tell me something which makes one really free." Zarathustra welcomed him well, offered him a meal, and gave him a very small packet. The king opened the packet in front of Zarathustra, and what he found inside was a grain, a seed of wheat. And the king could not really appreciate it. And he threw the grain in front of Zarathustra himself. And annoyed, he started his journey towards his capital. Years passed by. His kingdom grew. He became a greater king for a large tract of land. But still, when he would go back into the night, when nobody was with him, he would feel restless. He would feel that though he is the king, but his life is not fulfilled. So he decided to approach Zarathustra again, because Zarathustra's fame had traveled far and wide. So he said, okay, let me approach him. Maybe I could not have understood him at that time. So he sent his people with a great treasure as a gift to Zarathustra and requested him to please come to his palace and teach him. Teach him again, teach him something that makes him glad, that makes him free of everything. The people went and told the wish to Zarathustra. Zarathustra only smiled and humbly returned all the costly gifts, saying that he doesn't need them any longer. And also a gift from his side. The gift was again a small packet. The people came back to the king, and the king opened the packet and he found again a grain of wheat. The king said, well, maybe I could not understand at that time. So he really treasured the grain of sand. He asked for a small golden box, and kept it, the grain, in that box, and would see it every day, imagining, thinking that some miracle would happen, something would change, something would come out of it. Years rolled down, but nothing came. He again became restless. He said, oh, I'm done with this man Zarathustra. So there was a great Indian master at that time. He sent his men there with a treasure, that please come and teach me. Teach me something which makes me glad. So Indian master, it was a great honor for Indian master. He came. He readily accepted the honor and visited into various weeks of travel. At that time, it was like traveling on horseback and something like that. So he visited Iran, went to the capital to meet the king. The king greeted him. The king said, can you teach me? He said, yes, that's why I've come. He said, but if I tell you the truth, the real motivation was not to come here and teach you. The real motivation for me to come here was that I'm visiting the land of great Zarathustra. so that I might meet him as well, if he should so permit. The king was astonished. He said, again, Zarathustra enters into my life. Well, both of them, the king was humble enough, let us appreciate. He went for the third time and he approaches Zarathustra again now personally. He along with the Indian guru. Both of them go there. After paying their obeisance, the king again asked him, great Zarathustra, teach me something that makes me glad. Okay, and that makes me free. Now on the way, the king, Vishtaspaka, his name was, he shared this instance with the Indian monk. The Indian monk started smiling after ruminating over it. He said, well, you did not understand it. This contains all the teaching of Zarathustra. What was the teaching? What do you think the teaching was? Zarathustra says that, well, a seed is not meant to be covered into layers of packets or golden boxes. The seed belongs to the elements. It belongs to the earth. It need not be covered. It need not be blocked. Buried. It will come to fruition. Unless we allow ourselves to become seeds, to mix uncovered, unless we are allowed to see the stars, to mingle with the airs, the winds, the waters, the rains, the clouds, it is impossible to grow. It is interesting that this lady, whose life we commemorate, she chose to die. It's not an ordinary death. It's the death of a seed. The seed, when buried in the earth, dies, but gives birth. In the process of death, it gives birth to something more valuable. Therefore, we are here to commemorate her journey, her life, and we are sure that the small sparkle, the small seed is capable of converting this whole earth into greenery. And that is our aspiration, and that is I think the theme of commemorating her today. And we really, cherish her memory. And if you permit, if I think 1 minute is there? Sure. Okay. So I think this poem I wrote not yesterday, but a few days back, not for this, but I think this is relatable to the theme. Okay, so let me put on my spectacles. So, the title of the poem is Seed and Fragrance. With the stars I have a date. With the sun I want to relate. I long to play with the air. My fragrance I wish to share. Lonely I feel. To earth I appeal. Take me in your fold. The seed so told. You need to dive inside the earth to find out your worth. The rains will test and the winds will attest. All challenges you must surpass, and all trials if you pass. Then you will grow to flower fast, and your fragrance will then forever last. In the soil of dispute, the seed of law forms its root. When reason showers, law flowers. The flower carries seed and fragrance in twain. In seed, precedent we obtain. In fragrance, justice we attain. The cycle goes again and again. I would say the seed is no more, but the fragrance remains. The fragrance of Mahsa Amini remains, and let us participate in it. Thank you so much.